I wanna be a billionaire. I ain't getting no sleep till I see $1 million every week. I wanna be a billionaire. I ain't getting no sleep till I see $1 billion every week. I wanna be.
Ladies and gentlemen, how you doing? Welcome to another episode of Sleep is for Billionaires, the podcast. I am your host, Johnny Vegas. Now today, ladies and gentlemen, you're in for a treat. I got a special guest on my show. This woman is a lifestyle influencer. She's a host. She's the founder of XX Creative, and we're going to talk a little bit about her business and entrepreneurialism, if that's a word somewhere in there. Ladies and gentlemen, DRIA B.
Hi.
How you doing, lovely?
I'm good. How are you?
I'm doing great. You know, life is good. Can't complain. Sleep is for billionaires. You don't see these bags on the
I know. I feel you. What is sleep? Who knows about that?
Right. So how you doing today?
I'm good. Things are good. Busy. It's always busy.
Yeah, busy or productive?
Both.
Okay.
You gotta do both. You gotta be productive and you gotta be busy.
Move in a little bit. Come in. There we go. Don't get shy. There we go. But yeah, so that's what's up, man. As long as you're staying productive, keeping the money coming in. I know you're traveling crazy. You was in Vegas, right?
I was. I just got back from iHeart Festival. We were out there. Actually, you had Damage on the show. We were out there with Hollywood Unlocked.
Okay.
So we were out there. I managed Melissa Ford, so I was out there with her and the team, and you know, just doing that whole iHeart Radio thing. You know, they just got syndicated, so we were out there kind of networking and promoting the show. So it was good. It was a good trip.
That's awesome. That's awesome, man. Well, congrats on that. And so again, this show is about getting insider information for those looking to be in your position. And you sounds like you wear a lot of hats. You know, so before we even get into how you even got into that, I want to go back to the beginning. Like, where you from?
I was born in Seattle.
Okay.
Then raised bi-coastal, so Brooklyn and Seattle.
Okay, shout out to BK. I'm from the Bronx. You know.
So we did that, and then from Seattle, I went to college out there at Central Washington University, and then from there I went to Vegas.
Okay.
Did 5 years of the nightlife, boxing, Mayweather, all the above, you name it.
Okay.
I was in it.
As
on the PR marketing side. So I worked for the largest agency out there. So we had every client you can think of on the strip. I touched in some capacity, whether it was hotels, entertainment, nightlife, sports. So yeah, it was really cool. We worked with like the UFC, we worked with Golden Boy, MGM, Caesars, Cirque du Soleil. So it was a good time. It was a good 5 years.
That's dope, man. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
So before, because you kind of just ran past the grow up side.
Oh, the grow up side.
Yeah.
Okay. Let's go back.
So let's go back a little bit.
Okay.
I want to talk. So even as a youngster, you know, is this what you wanted to do back then? Like, what was your first dream?
Absolutely not.
There we go.
I didn't even know what doing marketing and PR. I didn't even know what that was.
Yeah, for PR, Puerto Rico now.
No, I play ball. I play basketball.
What?
That was my thing.
Okay.
That was my thing. So I thought I was gonna be Allen Iverson. That was my favorite player, and I thought I was gonna, make it to the league and do that whole thing.
So you play for school? And
I played for school and everything.
Okay.
I got injured.
Ankle?
Knee.
ACL?
Knee surgery. It wasn't bad. It was just a tear, but enough to.
You got crossed up?
To put me out. No, actually, she fell on me. Like we were going back and forth, and it was full court press, and she just did this she just leaned into me and fell on my knee. Like I didn't even move really, but she tried to almost charge me, and then she just fell. But the way she fell, she leaned into my hip, and my knee just went.
Damn. Yeah. And then they had you on the stretcher.
No, I actually thought I was okay. I sat out the rest of the game, thought I was fine, and then I went and played just a pickup game the next day. And when I for the layup came down, just a wrap.
You didn't get back up.
I was saying that was honestly the end of my basketball career, to be honest, because
how old were you at this time?
I was probably about 18, 19. Yeah. Okay. So, and I didn't really know what I was doing. I didn't know what life was in terms of career. I just didn't really think that far ahead, to be honest. I'd love to say that I really thought that far ahead, but I didn't. I was I play ball, I go to school, and that's just what I do. But at that point, I had to figure out life. I had to figure out what was next.
At that point.
And really, my parents kind of were pushing me to. They came from my mom came from an insurance background, so did my grandma.
Okay.
And my grandma's actually really big in the insurance.
And you just grew up with your mom
and my grandma, yeah.
Oh,
so,
no,
they went together. My dad kind of popped up, but it wasn't a consistent thing.
Got it.
But my grandma was super heavy in the insurance game, like one of the most respected ones on the West Coast. So it was kind of like they were trying to push me into like, insurance. Oh, you can make money and blah, blah, blah.
Security.
Yeah. You can't, like, I'm too creative for that. Like, I have ADD. I can't like sit still for 5 minutes. Like, you know what I mean? So that was never going to be, the 9 to 5 behind a desk was just not my thing. So I thought journalism would be the next best thing. So I was like, well, maybe I can do like, work for ESPN or something like that. You know what I mean? Something still with ball, but not playing. And then them deadlines with like journalism and stuff like that again was another issue for me.
So you actually were working with ESPN?
I went into the journalism program at my school.
Okay.
So we had like ESPN and them come through and stuff like that. So that's kind of what put the idea in my head that I thought maybe sports journalism.
So they were looking for like interns and stuff?
Yeah.
Okay.
And then I just realized that was not for me. But I had already taken all the credits, so I was like, I gotta do something with these. And my advisor was like, well, what about public relations? Like, you like to be social, you like to be out at events, doing all these different things. Like, maybe you could be like the connector between media and like the business. And I was like, okay, that sounds like a good idea. Majored in it, got an internship in fashion, actually. Graduated.
There you go, congrats.
Thank you. And that's kind of where the start was, in fashion PR, actually, in Seattle. Which didn't have a huge scene at the time, but they did have the Art Institute and stuff like that. So I was interning with like that kind of stuff, Seattle Fashion Week. So that's how I got started. But from there, I realized, again, fashion, it's a nasty, at that time especially, it was a very nasty, exclusive industry, When
you say nasty, what do you mean?
Like,
let them know what you mean.
Well, and it's not like this now. Like, thankfully, people like, Ashley Graham, Winnie Harlow, people like that have really, even Rihanna with her brand, have really opened up the fashion world to be inclusive. All different body types, be different, be unique. You know what I mean? And that's awesome.
Right.
When I was interning, it was still very much, you need to be a size 0. It not very diverse in terms of ethnicity. If it was, you were very sectioned off into like, well, you can represent, urban brands, but you can't, be couture fashion. And it was just something that I didn't stand by. You know what I mean? I'm curvy, I'm Latina. I didn't align with anybody that was really out there doing it from that standpoint. And I just felt like it was an industry, and I watched models and stuff like backstage just dying to be so skinny, dying to be the next thing. It was just like a rat race that was just really ugly. And it's not something I could support.
Right.
So I had to switch out of that. That was like the next move.
So this was where?
Seattle.
This was in Seattle. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
So from there, I was just I was still in my internship, just working like a 9 to 5 to pay the bills. But I knew I needed to be like in something busier, like entertainment or something along those lines. And I had been just traveling with friends to Las Vegas. And
so you were living by yourself at this time?
Yeah, I was living by myself.
Okay.
Well, I think I had a roommate, but I was living, on my own, doing my own thing. But I was bored. Like, just Seattle was boring to me. The industry I was in wasn't doing it. In terms of the PR side was fine, but just fashion wasn't my thing.
Yeah.
And we've been traveling to Las Vegas. I had a friend that had known Floyd Mayweather and his team for a long time. So we were traveling back and forth, and I'm kind of one of those people that like, well, I do like vacation. I'm always like, what's going on? I got to be in the scene. I got to see what's going on.
Yeah.
So after about the second trip, I like set up interviews, like started setting up interviews with PR companies, things like that. And ended up on the third trip getting hired. And they were like, we need you here in 2 weeks.
Oh, wow.
So, and I had just moved into a townhouse. Like, it was just like 2 weeks. You got to figure it out. And
so at that point, like, I want to capitalize on that thought process right there. When they say, yo, I'm giving you 2 weeks, what was the grind?
It honestly wasn't, I was excited. It wasn't really like, because I don't know, just felt meant to be, you know what I mean? So I didn't really feel like the pressure. I'm sure looking back
like
on it, responsibilities wise, like it was a little, I'm sure I probably could have handled things differently. I got lucky because the townhouse we were in, we were renting, and I was able to replace myself as like with my roommate, so that she had another roommate. I vetted the person, so it ended up working itself out. You know what I mean? So I didn't really have any obligations in that regard. I kept my car, drove that down, and just kind of packed up everything I needed and dipped. And that was kind of it. It was weird because it was a new city. I didn't really know nobody, no family there. Like, but it just worked itself out. Actually, I had the first few months I stayed with my mom's husband. She had newly married his sister, but I didn't know her. So stayed with them for a few months till I found my place.
Okay.
And then that was the start of Vegas. It did. It did. And I think like that's like a super key point, as I feel definitely be responsible in what you're doing. And I do think finances are important and strategy and planning, but I also think you can overdo that.
Right. You
know what I mean? Like if you're overdoing to the point where you're just like closing off all your opportunities because you're like, well, it might not be perfectly right. I don't think that there's any perfectly right scenario, you know? And sometimes, especially like in the entertainment industry or an industry that's like fast paced, it's not, you got to go with the flow,
right?
You know, and you got to learn to adapt and kind of move accordingly. Otherwise, you'll get left behind.
That's a fact.
Yeah. So I felt like this is my opportunity to get out of, you know, Seattle, to change industries. It's the entertainment capital of the world in terms of like nightlife and that kind of entertainment. I had a connection to boxing and the TMT team. So I was like, I feel like it was just good.
It was meant to be.
Yeah, it was meant to be.
So when you got to Vegas, was it difficult to actually get the ball rolling, or did you just kind of jump in and things just kind of worked out through your affiliation?
Yeah. I think on the personal side, it was easy to get the ball rolling because I was, you know, I mean, Floyd's king of Vegas. So that was helpful. But on the industry side, yeah, I mean, I was still kind of getting my grounding, figuring out. In Vegas, what I feel like a lot of people don't know is there's a lot of tourists that come in and out, and there's a lot of people in that regard. But the actual city and like the locals, it's a small city. And the entertainment, PR, marketing, nightlife side is even smaller. So it didn't take long to like figure out who's who the key players are, and that kind of situation. So for the year, I did this small boutique company that hired me, and then I realized who was like the heavyweight on the marketing and PR side, and ended up, you know, figuring out who was the, you know, VPs and stuff like that, talking with them, and then about 6 or 7 months after that, I got hired by them, or an offer from them to move over. To be their account, I think I was account executive at the time or something like that.
Okay.
Yeah. And that was really what changed my game in terms of putting me on the map for entertainment and nightlife marketing, and working with like really, really big people, bigger than I had ever worked with in my whole like time doing it. And while I still had the experience on the like, you know, writing and that side, I hadn't worked for like really big brands and really, you know, big people. So now I'm going from these little, you know, startup companies to like Caesars Entertainment and MGM Resorts International.
There you go.
And Cirque, who at the time had just contracted the Michael Jackson estate to open their show. So I was working with the estate of Michael Jackson and, you know, Floyd and boxing, and, you know, so it was...
So the resume was built.
It was, and fast, like, you know, and I will say this, the cool thing about the company that I was working for is once they trusted you, like, they're like, just go do your thing, you know, we don't care how young you are, we don't care, you know, whatever, if you're proving that things are good and you're doing your job, like, they kind of let you have free reign on that regard. So it was cool because I was able to really, relationships I still have today with clients, because I was able to bond with them, you know, without being micromanaged or anything like that. So
that's cool.
Yeah, it was cool.
When did you decide to leave Vegas and come to LA? Because people come here and they be like, oh, I'm about to come here, I'm about to get discovered, it's about to pop all the way off.
Yeah.
And it don't happen like that. So when you actually decided to come to LA, you know, what plan did you put together to build a solid foundation for yourself?
Yeah. Honestly, I had gone back and forth a lot. I didn't ever feel like Vegas was the end all for me in terms of staying there. I felt like it was a great jumping off point. I felt like it really boosted my career the way I needed it to. But about the 4th year there, I realized that I need to capitalize on this more outside of, like, I don't want to just be the Las Vegas person. You know what I mean? That wasn't my goal. I didn't really like Las Vegas in terms of, like, personally living there.
And
like,
was there a lot of people doing the same thing? Was it, like, over...
No, it actually really wasn't that oversaturated. And you were able to kind of find your own niche. You know, my niche was with artist relations. Even though I was doing marketing and PR, like when I was working with nightlife or whatever, I was working heavily with managers, talent on the music side. So I was able to kind of form those relationships, or media on the media music side. So it was people kind of putting the bug in my ear, like, oh, maybe you should transition to like the music industry and like start doing it that way. And, you know, you have a passion for it. I play guitar. Like, I do have a love for music and stuff like that. So I was like, okay, maybe. But I was still comfortable in my position. So it wasn't right away. But after we opened SLS Las Vegas, which is now the Sahara, I think. And we had a lot of talent there the opening night. So we had like Janae Aiko, Lenny Kravitz, Rita Ora, Iggy Azalea, Robin Thicke, John Legend, Redman, Method Man, I think that weekend. Like, we're a lot of random artists and DJs and things like that. And there were so many coming in at one time. And so I had a lot of conversations, you know, with managers and friends that in the industry, and they kind of convinced me. They were like, look, you need to like come to our side, like come do music and like be in that. And I had never worked for a label. So I was like, no, like, you know, I heard a lot of shady stuff about that. I don't know if I want to do that. But as it grew, I realized that it really was my passion. And then it was deciding what city. Because when I was growing up, New York was the capital of the music. So that's where all the labels were. That's where the decisions were made. But at that point, a lot of that side had moved over to LA, you know, and a lot of the labels had put more money into the teams in LA. The budgets were bigger in LA. It was easier to move to LA.
Absolutely.
So, you know, so, and I felt like I could still keep my connection to Vegas because it was, you know, it was an hour flight away or, you know, a drive. So it just made sense.
Right.
So I started looking for PR companies that focused in music. Found a boutique one that was trying to revamp and grow her music side of it because she had switched to branding, but she was representing kind of the old school acts. So we had like Gene Simmons, Paris Hilton on the DJ side, Afrojack, Boy George, like just random people. And I was like, okay, like I can grow this. You know what I mean? Like I can figure this out. So she was actually the one that hired me and moved me out to LA.
Okay.
Yeah. So that was cool. I thought that was awesome.
You found somebody that believed in you and then brought you on board and took the risk to set you up.
Right. And really as a business owner, I think that's something I'm learning now that I own my own business, is the risk and reward that you put into your staff.
Management,
yeah, because you really do have to justify that when you're talking about budgets and salaries and things like that. Like, if I'm going to put money into you, whether I'm moving you out here, whether I'm hiring you and you live here, you know, that's still money out my pocket and risk that I'm taking to hope that you perform.
Right.
You know,
she's investing in you.
Yeah, exactly. So and it happened to me twice, you know, moving out of state both times, you know, so I felt good about that people were seeing my work and respecting it and believing in it. And then my world kind of came to a crash about 6 months in.
Oh, okay. Now we're getting to the tea.
And honestly, it's nothing against her. And especially definitely now looking at it as a business owner, I get it. But she had to go where the money was. And at the time, it wasn't music. And she decided she was going to, a family situation happened. And then she decided she wanted to switch her whole company into tech and brands. And not even like lifestyle brands. It was like, you know, apps or things, you know, things that like, I just really, out of all the PR I've done, had no interest in, had no like experience, relationships. And all of our stuff comes down to relationships with media or other companies. If I don't have the relationships, then I'm just cold calling, you know what I mean? Really, and being like, can you please write about this? You know? So she kind of sat me down and was like, here's the situation, you know, and you can either stay on board basically almost part-time and work on this tech stuff, or take a severance and go. And that was probably the toughest decision I've had to make in my whole career. You made? I took the money and I left. Because at the end of the day, you have to be happy. Yeah, you have to be, money's important and always get the bag. But at the same time, you also have to know your strengths, know your weaknesses, and bet on yourself at the same time. And I was just at a point in my career where I put in a lot of years. You know, I wasn't brand new. I wasn't out of college. I had the support. You know, I had people that you know, backed me in a lot of ways. So I was like, it's like now or never almost. I feel like if I hadn't taken that risk then, I would have just stayed in corporate my whole life, you know, and just gone to the next
Yeah, you wouldn't have been happy, man. You probably would have found yourself learning something that you weren't interested in the first place, and you know, then it would have became a job at that point. Whereas now it's like, it looks like you love what you do, and it doesn't feel like work. And I felt like, in my head, I was like, the worst that can happen, okay, it doesn't work out,
you know, I run through my savings and I don't have money and I have to move back home or something. Like, that would be, to me, the worst that would have to happen. You know what I mean? Then that's like the very worst. So I was like, okay, I'm okay with that. Like, if I have to, you know, close it up and call it a day.
Take 2 steps back to take 3 steps forward. It'd be like that.
Right. So I took that, and she was cool enough to let me go with the clients that I brought in, because I had brought in a few clients who are music artists and talent. So she allowed me to leave with them, which was really awesome because, you know, a lot of people don't start out the gate with clients.
Right.
So that was extremely helpful for me to start off. At the time, I was just freelancing. It wasn't even a company at that point.
Right.
To begin kind of like my journey into the entrepreneur side. So to go back and answer your question, did I plan on ever doing this? No, I never planned on being an entrepreneur. I thought I was going to be in the WNBA or corporate my whole life.
Right.
So I was thrown into it, but now understanding it, I don't know that I could. And I've been offered positions, you know, over the last year or so, to come back into corporate, and I'm just like,
I'm good.
No, I can't do it. And the money was great, but I'm just like, but now I appreciate my time and how I move, that I don't think I could, unless it was a position where they were, you know, understanding of that. I don't think I could.
I mean, hey, it's not for you then.
Check in 9 to 5. No.
Yeah, it's not for you. So okay, so you came to LA, 6 months. You had to make that decision. After you made that decision, you know, what did you do next?
Then it was hustle time. You had, you know, like, that's the other thing, is that the hard part is that you don't realize what corporate does for you in a lot of ways. You're talking about benefits, health insurance,
pension,
car, pension, whatever, 401k, like all those things are like, you don't think about it. You're just, I'm here, I clock in 9 to 5, do what I'm brought in to do, and that's it. So now that you're on your own, you got to think about all those things, you know? And so for me, it was just building up the clientele. So when I say I was out everywhere, any event, I was saying yes to everything. Yeah. You know, I need to be here. Sure, I'll be there, like whatever. Just trying to network, get my name out there. Because again, I had only been here 6 months. So I didn't have, and no family, like I didn't really have friends out here yet. So I had to make all new relationships. Right. So that was like my next goal, was to get a lot of clients. Once I did that, things were good for a while. Okay. But then I started to understand that my industry was changing.
What do you mean by that? Like, what happened?
So PR back in the day was like, again, built on relationships. You were the middleman between media and talent, media and companies, whatever. Now, the best way I can describe it for people that don't know what public relations is to say that it's a part of marketing. You know what I mean? It's not just, oh, hey, let me make a phone call to this editor that I know and get you, you know, the cover of Forbes. It doesn't work like that. And not to say that it's all paid either. It's not. But journalists, all of the media got cut down. You know what I mean? So their industries got smaller. So now you have one editor covering everything. Okay. You know, and you have a million publicists getting at them 24/7. So your chances of getting features and things like that have become smaller. So now you have to be strategic and, you know, talk about marketing and talk about viral moments and social media influencers, and just everything was changing. So what you used to be able to rely on PR for now has to be a part of a complete communication strategy and marketing strategy. So you can't have one without the other now. So if you hire a publicist and say, hey, like, I want you to publicize what I'm doing or whatever, I hope that you have like marketing stuff to back it. Otherwise it won't stick. So it became hard for me because we became the scapegoat. You know, well, my business didn't succeed, or my TV show, you know, I didn't get the light from the TV show that I just did. It's my publicist's fault. You know, because it was their fault that they didn't do it. When in reality, it's like, well, you also didn't go to any events. You didn't put any marketing dollars behind it. You didn't do ad buys. You didn't do, you know, all these other things to support your campaign. And that's what people are kind of missing. So after multiple times of that happening to me, I was like, I have to switch. I now have to switch what I'm offering, you know? So even for the XX Creative side, we've gone from starting as just a boutique PR agency.
So that was before you continue, that was the birth.
That was the birth, yeah, of XX Creative. Okay. So then we realized that we got to be more strategic with it. We got to bring in the communication strategy, the marketing strategy, and rely on that first, and PR is supplemental. So I partnered up with somebody who I had worked with out in Vegas, who came from both a design background and a PR background. And I was able to start the company, but rooted in the strategy, not rooted in PR.
Okay.
So that was kind of the shift of me moving outside of
PR.
What people knew me for.
Okay.
And that was a hard transition too, personally, because once you're kind of known for something industry, people like have a hard time wanting to have you do anything else.
Right.
You know, so if you ask somebody at, you know, Republic Records, what does she do? She's a publicist. That will be their answer till I die. You know what I mean? So I've really had to rebrand myself too, personally, you know, to align with this new strategy that I was putting behind the company.
Okay. So now that you got this formula, you know, already structured, how has it been working for you?
It's been good. It's been, like I said, a transition. I will say talent is not as on board with that as much, unless they have a big team behind them, like a label or something like that. Because again, they're, you know, and I think you would understand too, is when you're a talent, when you're an actor, when you're something like that, you're struggling to make it too, you know? So money matters. Every cent matters.
Right.
So for them, it's like, you know, yeah, I want to bring on PR, I want to bring a communication strategy, but I only want to pay you X amount of dollars. Well, I can't really put together a strategy for that amount, you know?
So explain that to me before you proceed, not to interrupt. So for someone who's looking for, you know, someone of your public relations or anything to help boost their buzz or their image to the general public, what do they have to consider before coming in as far as, okay, you know, how much money they're going to need, what to expect from you, what exactly do you offer that's going to benefit them? So explain that part.
So basically what we try to do is we try to bring together, like, if I'm presenting a proposal to you, I'm going to give you everything in that proposal. Like, it's going to be the highest rate that we have for your type of campaign on purpose, because I want you to see what a strategy looks like.
Right.
Now, you can always come back and be like, hey, you know, I have a social media guy, so I don't need the social media support. Or I have a marketing manager, I don't need that side of it. You know, they'll handle that part of it. That's fine. We work with the teams that, you know, we're given, but I try to give everything in the campaign because, again, it goes back to the support. So we can a la carte it all you want to, and I can say, okay, I'll just do your PR. But I'm very transparent with people when I say, while the money might be lower, like the retainer fee might be lower because we're just doing one thing, if you're not supporting those other things internally or however you're doing it with your personal team, you're not going to get the results you want out of the PR. You know what I mean? So you have to have an entire strategy and team behind it. So it's not that I try to upcharge people and be like, get everything, but we need to talk about how this is all going to be laid out, you know, from marketing to social media to PR, because that's the only way you're going to get that full exposure now.
So in order for you to do your job effectively, what do I need? Besides, like, and if it's money, $1 amount, and what's that money gonna give me?
I mean, it's not necessarily a dollar amount. It's the team. You know what I mean? Like, you need some, now, whether you hire us as a team on all of those realms, that's one thing. And a lot of people, like, an example is like a brand. So internally, a brand is going to have most likely a graphic designer or somebody on the design team. They're going to have a marketing manager. They're going to have maybe even an internal PR team. And then they bring us on to, like, amplify the strategy that they're putting together. Now, if you come to the table and you're like, I don't have any of that, I'm just me. Well, then now it's on me to supplement all of that for your campaign.
When you say supplement, like, are you coming out of pocket to do this for that person?
Yeah. So, like, I mean, PR is now it's a little bit different, maybe like 7 times out of 10 not pay to play. So that's me. You're relying on my relationships for the PR side. Relationships I have with media, relationships I have with editors, whatever. But if you're talking about marketing and social media, yeah, because then I'm having to support with ad buys or promo or, you know, whatever, design. If I have to design your content for, you know, the social media site, you know what I mean, whatever. So yeah, that's all going to be, I either have to pay my internal team or I got to pay a vendor if I don't have it, you know, so.
So how you reciprocated after, let's say if you took that risk and that you believed in that person, you put up some money for them, how do you get money back from doing that?
Well, we work solely on retainers.
Okay.
So I'm gonna look at you and say, okay, you're launching a song or you're releasing a song. Here's the campaign I'm gonna put behind it. Now, and if I handle it all internally, this is the retainer that's gonna cost me and my company and my time and my relationships to support that single you're gonna put out. And then that's the monthly retainer that you would pay for that campaign. And usually a campaign is 3 months, like a small campaign. Okay. And some people will hire us on annually and we'll do, every year.
Okay. Yeah, because you mentioned, if someone doesn't basically have the money, they're just like, it's just me. You said you would cover it. Yeah. That's why I was talking in regards to that situation specifically.
Yeah, so if he was like, this is just me, like I need an entire team support, okay, that's fine, but this is going to cost you more because I'm going to have to put more of my staff behind you to supplement the staff that you don't have. Whereas if you're like a brand, obviously you're going to have internal
things
staff.
In place, you just need a specific
situation. Yeah, exactly.
Oh, okay, got it.
Yeah.
Okay, well that's what's up.
Yeah.
Okay. Interesting.
Yeah. Because like a company one of the companies we just got brought on is like a CBD company, and like we originally were just coming at them for PR because that's all they wanted, and then I got a call the other day and they were like, actually we want to do a pop-up activation, like a 3-month like pop-up store, a whole launch party. Well, now my role has gone from just PR to project management, so my complete services are going to be completely different based on that campaign, so. We're not handling PR for them at this point. We're strictly handling a complete project management activation. But that's the beauty of like how I switched the company, because I don't want us to be known as just PR, because the reality is that a lot of times we are ending up doing these activations or events and things like that, which in turn generate PR and media come and attend and cover it, but that's not the core.
I get it.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, that's what's up.
Yeah.
Well, it sounds like you're a workaholic. You know what I'm saying? You running around closing all these deals.
Yeah.
What do you do to unwind? I mean, what do you do? What does DRIA do to have fun?
I know,
or relax?
Right? Seriously. Honestly, it's hard. It's hard because when you're investing in so many different things, whether it's, your business, your personal brand, things like that, it's hard for even me to like shut off my brain. To be honest, I have to go like out the country, like have no service on my phone, to really like cut it off.
Okay. What's your favorite place to be?
So far it's been Thailand.
Thailand?
Yeah.
I haven't been there yet.
I did my 30th in Thailand.
Okay.
And it was...
Happy belated.
Thanks. It was fun. I loved that. But it was also one of those like places that was remote enough. Like you had Wi-Fi and things like that, but I couldn't be on my phone 24/7. So
why would you? It's something different. You rather see what's around you. Yeah.
And for me, it's easy to turn that part off. Like I don't need to be on my I'm not one of those who's like, oh my god, if I don't be on my phone, I'm gonna die. But where I do get anxiety is people trying to reach me. Because again, our team is very lean and very small, so. And a lot of it, especially
the captain,
right? And then when you're the face of it too, and that was the thing that I wasn't used to either, because we didn't grow up with social media, right, 24/7. So the fact that this whole social media thing plays a part of my business, like followers and things like that, in my own personal brain, I could care less about. But for whatever reason,
we love you all.
But we do. We love all the followers and the comments and everything like that. But I didn't realize how much that played in terms of my actual business and like people looking for me or checking for me and then going to the business and then being like, okay, well, she's got this following. She's got, you know what I mean?
She got to be official.
Right. So that's where I feel like on my personal brain side, I had to step up my game because I didn't understand that there was a weight put on like by having enough followers or so many followers or whatever the case was. So.
Yeah, it creates a stigma to where it's like the more followers you have, it kind of determines your status. Well, it's not really that deep because it's like I know people who are like fucking billionaires and they got maybe 600 followers on Instagram,
or they don't even have a phone. Like,
they don't even have a phone.
Like,
So it's like y'all really should switch. Y'all should really switch that mindset.
Facts.
It's fake, but it is what it is.
It is, but it's also, especially if you're in like a referral based business like I am. It does play a role in, and it goes both ways. Like, I mean, not that I would be out there doing that, but you can't just be out partying on the gram, like showing everything that you know what I mean? Like, turning up because I might lose a business opportunity on the corporate side. So you have to just be extremely cognizant, whether you have 500 followers or millions of followers, that people are following you. I mean, unless you're private, you know what I mean? But for somebody that's in a referral-based business, I can't afford to be private.
Right.
I need people to check for me. I need people to check for my company, and things like that. So I've had to really like pay attention to what that all looks like.
Understood.
Yeah.
Understood. As you should.
Yeah.
Okay. I see you're on the keto-based diet.
Yes.
How's that going for you?
It's good.
Because you're Dominican like me, and I had a steak for breakfast.
No, we can have. That's the cool thing about keto. I couldn't do the vegan thing, but that's not my.
Okay, I thought it was similar, like only plant-based products.
No, I'm a meat eater, so I had to find something that I could still eat meat and like veggies and like things, all that. So that's really what it is. The only thing it really cuts out is no sugar.
Okay,
no carbs.
No carbs. But doesn't your body need carbs like to burn?
You can have, everything has carbs.
Right.
You know what I mean? Like even vegetables have carbs.
Right.
But no carbs meaning like bread, pasta,
potatoes,
sweets,
like
potatoes. That. Yeah, that kind of carbs. So like starchy carbs.
Yeah,
your body does need carbs. And if you're working out on that lifestyle, you can add a little bit more on the carb side because you're working out, so it's not completely, because like my business partner, he doesn't work out at all, but he also does not eat any starch, period. Whereas I work out probably like 5 times a week. So for me, if I have a heavy cardio day, like I'm gonna have like some kind of carb, you know what I mean? But so there's not like a perfect science to it. But for me, it works because it's structured enough to keep me disciplined, but not so much to where I feel like I'm missing out on eating.
Yeah, right.
Or I feel like I'm eating like grass 24/7. Like that's never gonna work for me.
That's what I thought when I said keto. I just thought green, and I was like, oh man,
no,
eating leaves.
No, I need carne asada. I need chicken. I need all the above. Yeah, so you can have all of that. But yeah, it's like anything though. Like, don't be that hard on yourself. Like, while I promote it because I have brands that allow me to promote it. If I want a slice of pizza, I'm gonna eat it. You know what I mean? Like, I'm not that serious about it. But I also work out. You know what I mean? So I don't feel guilty if I have a slice. You know, like whatever. But I think it's all about in moderation. But the people that go so hard on those fad diets, again, it just takes me back to like the fashion industry, where they're eating like a cube of cheese a day and like a glass of water. Like, I just can't do it. Like, it's not how I was raised. It's not,
It just doesn't work.
No.
Unless you're trying to kill yourself.
Right. Yeah, so, yeah, well, I like it. I'm not that serious about it to the point where I'm not going to live my life.
Right. So, are you happy with what you're doing?
I am. I think I am happy, but I think evolving is necessary. I can't stay in one thing forever and not evolve and try new things, because that just doesn't work for me. So like even right now on the personal side, I guess personal and business side, I've started getting into like the cannabis and CBD side. And
how so?
It started as
just smoking.
No, I started like back in college. I had to roll a blunt. No, I'm just like, well, kind of, but no, but it started with the CBD client that had come on board. You know what I mean? Kind of opened me up to that part of it, because I mean, growing up, it's like we knew it as weed. You know what I mean? Like in a blunt, and like that's what it was. But now it's really become such a big business, and I didn't realize the money and the support behind both sides, the CBD and cannabis side. So now that I've gotten more involved on the business side of it, it's allowed me to be in places and really see how it starts from the growing to, harvesting, to dispensaries, to lifestyle, to health and medicine. So I just think it's something I support. I'm not really big into like pharmaceuticals and pills and prescriptions. That's just not my thing. And so I think it's cool that there's an alternative that is natural, you know what I mean? And they've started to explore that. So that's kind of where I started. But now on the business side, I've seen the money and the branding behind it. It's something that I have a niche for from the branding perspective. And it's something that I feel like I can capitalize on from like just personal lifestyle. So that's kind of where I'm at right now, kind of researching still and exploring like everyone else is.
Oh, so you're not in it, you're just interested.
I'm in it in the sense that like we have clients that are cannabis and CBD.
But I'm like an actual investor.
No, not yet.
Okay.
I'm trying to figure out if that's the route I want to go, or if I just want to be a tastemaker in it. You know what I mean? Where it's like knowledgeable, help with the branding side and do it that way, or like you said, like invest in something, because that part of it has actually gotten extremely saturated. A lot of investors, a lot of money behind the farms and things like that. So you kind of, at this point in the game, if you're just coming in, you are a little late in that. But there are other niche areas within the industry that you can kind of find a lane for.
Do you invest in stocks at all?
No, but I have started with the cryptocurrency thing a little bit.
Okay.
That's as close as I've gotten.
Now, there's some, matter of fact, off camera, I'll give you some info on the stocks here. But with the cannabis stuff, you know, being that the market is so saturated as far as investor, actually it opens up opportunity for stocks, because then the interest is going up. So, you know, now would be the time to put money
money down.
You know what I'm saying? It's not even a lot of money you got to put in, because shares is like maybe like $10, $20 a share.
Yeah.
You put something in, and as it continues to get saturated, the more it's going to grow.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? But, you know, we'll talk a little bit further about that.
Yeah.
But that's what's up, man. Yeah. You know, I'm glad you're doing your thing, man. And it seems like, you know, you're helping people with their branding and their marketing, which, you know, this is the place to do it, because everybody that's a talent needs that. You know, and for someone like me who was doing everything on his own, I'm my own PR, my own manager, my own booking agent. I do the editing, I do the interviewing, I write the stuff.
Right.
Know? And that's just with this. That's not including all the other stuff I got going on that I told you about. So.
Wait, so you asked me, so you're doing all those things. What do you do when you're not doing your business
When
stuff?
I'm unwinding?
Yeah.
Honestly, I'm thinking about business.
Right, that's what I'm saying. You don't have to turn it on. That's such a loaded question, because you, like, what do you do when you unwind? Well, I can't. So I'm just going to keep working.
You know what it is? Because it's just with me, I put so much pressure on myself to be great. And you know, I have some high expectation for myself, and I got a lot of support that I don't want to let down.
Right.
So that just adds so much fuel to my fire that my creative juices are always rolling. But, you know, I travel a lot, you know what I'm saying? I've been to Paris, been to Italy, going to Seattle Mall, you know, just came from New York, you know what I'm saying? Going to Florida Thanksgiving. So I like to travel.
You been to DR?
In 1994 to see my real father.
Okay.
At one point. I do need to go back.
I've never been.
Oh, you got it.
I know.
Yeah.
It's on the list.
Yeah, I heard the resorts are good. When I went, I was actually in the city because I was staying with my real father at the time.
Right.
But I'm definitely gonna hit the resorts up. Yeah. What else? I like to try new foods. I definitely like to try new restaurant. Yeah, I'm a super foodie. But I love to work out. You know what I'm saying? I'm constantly in the gym when I can. Damn. What else? And I like to talk to my mother a lot.
Okay. And she's still back in?
She's in New York. No, she's in Florida.
Oh, okay.
You know what I'm saying? And yeah, man. And that's really pretty much it. Other than that, man, I'm just creating, yo. I'm just creating as much as I can. I didn't really come out here to slow down. You know what I'm saying? I came out here to
keep it going.
Yeah, sleep is for billionaires, man.
It is. No sleep. No sleep till you're there.
Exactly.
It's true. Are you the only child?
No, man. I grew up with my immediate sister, just one sister, but on my dad's side, you know, I got like 7 brothers and sisters, you know, but I am the oldest. I was the firstborn, the first grandson, you know. So,
okay.
Yeah, but it's a total of, it's like 9 of us.
Okay.
But I'm the oldest.
The oldest, got it.
And yourself?
My mom's side, the only child. My dad's side is question mark.
Papa
you know
Dominican.
Dominican men.
Yo, listen, don't do that. You know, I mean,
you're the new generation.
Hey, I only can speak for myself, man. You know what I'm saying? I do my thing, man. Listen, I'm not that hard to deal with. You know what I'm saying? That's all I can say. But you know, I'm sorry to hear about your bad experiences with Dominican men.
No. I mean, my guy's whatever, but no, I've known so many. I mean, Dominicans and Puerto Rican men that are super. I mean, most of them in New York, but. Super dope. I kind of miss that. I was telling you earlier, there's some things I do miss about like living in major like urban cities. Like LA just is not quite the same for me in that regard. Like I miss that kind of like that culture and that like kind of welcoming, especially on the Latin side, you know. So I feel like it's not quite the same out here in that regard. So I go back all the time to New York and Seattle.
That's what's up. That's what's up. Well, let the people know where they can follow you at. You know, where can they book your services and all that good stuff.
So we have xxcreative.com without an E, and that's the business side. And then I'm at Alexandria Baum across all platforms.
There it is, man. You heard it here first. I want to thank you for coming through today.
Thank you so much for having me.
It was a pleasure to meet you. Look forward to working with you in the near future.
Yes.
I wish you much success in all your endeavors.
Thank you.
Thank you for tuning in to another episode of Sleep is for Billionaires, the podcast. I am your host, Johnny VEGAZ, DRIA B.
Hey.
Make sure you tune in for more episodes to come and subscribe to the channel. I need all the damn likes I can get. Stay tuned for more episodes to come. Thank you for watching.